this is my review of Sonic X. Okay, so this episode has a lot of plot developments and also begins to explain, basically it just continues on with the story of Sonic Adventure and continues to adapt it and explain, and I think better explains some of the things that happen in Sonic Adventure, because a lot of the things that happen in Sonic Adventure just kind of don't have much of an explanation because the game is kind of dated. So yeah, this actually explains. So yeah, this episode actually sets up quite a few plot points that are going to be addressed later in the story. So first and foremost, after Chaos's attack the night before, Sonic and the rest of his friends regroup in Chuck's workshop and begin to formulate a plan of attack. And during the process, during that entire process, Knuckles actually reveals how he actually wound up knowing about Chaos. As it turns out, shortly after Angel Island got warped to Station Square via Chaos Control, he decides to go back to his usual job of guarding the Master Emerald. However, on a particularly stormy night while he was guarding the Master Emerald, he notices Chaos appear and goes to check out, and upon further inspection realizes that the Master Emerald has been shattered into pieces. And Knuckles gives a brief fight before Chaos disappears, but quickly realizes a much bigger problem, which is that because the Master Emerald is broken, it's unable to actually keep Angel Island floating in the sky, and because of that, Angel Island crashes into the sea and sends pieces of the Master Emerald flying everywhere. And after hearing Knuckles' story about his first encounter with Chaos, Chris actually asks Big about the thing he saw regarding Chaos and how he saw something similar, and sure enough, Big recounts his story about what he saw, and also adds to that story the fact that after Froggy got possessed by whatever it was he got possessed by, he swallowed a Chaos Emerald and ran off. At which point Chuck realizes that they need to now go track down Froggy as soon as possible, because if Dr. Eggman gets his hand on Froggy, he's going to have another Chaos Emerald, and they quickly realize that the situation is going to become a lot more dire, because the more they actually gather the Chaos Emeralds, the more powerful Chaos is going to get, and if he gets all 7, there's no telling what can happen. So after which the group forms a form of attack. Chuck will stay behind and do some research into where the Chaos Emeralds might have gone. Sonic decides to go with Tails and pick up any Chaos Emeralds he can find, which winds up working, and as I'll elaborate later. Knuckles decides to go off and find the pieces of the Master Emerald, which are now scattered all over Station Square. And Chris and Big decide to continue their quest for Froggy and try to find him before Dr. Eggman does. So yeah, with that, each individual group decides to set off and go to find their respective things. We never actually see the fruits of Chris and Big's labors. They are just kind of they go do their thing, and then they're just gone for the rest of the episode. We don't see them, but they're presumably searching for Froggy. We don't see them. They're off screen for the rest of the episode. But in any case, Sonic goes to meet up with Tails, and finds out that Tails has not only repaired the Chaos Emerald, the X Tornado. Why did I say so many different things that weren't actually... Anyway. Sonic eventually goes to meet with Tails and discovers that he's already recovered a Chaos Emerald and has used it to fix the X Tornado, which will enable them to go and find some of the others. And while Knuckles goes and finds that one of the crash sites was actually the casino in Station Square, and the police let him through because he's Knuckles. He's helped them a couple of times in the past, and he also asks them what happened, and they remark that something crashed in from the sky, and they're not entirely sure what. But Knuckles goes in after finding out it's a piece of the Master Emerald, and picks it up. Afterwards, he gets a vision. In the vision, we actually see Tikal arguing with her father, Chief Pachamac, who are both major characters in Sonic Adventure. But Tikal and Pachamac are arguing because Pachamac wants to gather the power of the Chaos Emeralds, but Tikal is strongly against it, and also Knuckles is a little bit confused because not only is it the Mystic Ruins, which is how he knows them, but the Mystic Ruins aren't ruins. They look brand new, and that also confuses him. So he's not entirely sure what's going on. All he knows is that he received a vision from the Master Emerald telling him this very important piece of information. And mind you, this isn't the first time he's gotten one of these visions. Back in Season 1, he got another vision when he picked up one of the Chaos Emeralds, and he heard Tikal's voice, but this is the first time we're seeing her in an episode. So, yeah. Knuckles is going on his own quest. He's going to go pick up the Master Emerald pieces and possibly get more visions, which are going to help aid the plot a little bit further. Meanwhile, Tails and Sonic eventually find another Chaos Emerald and go to pick it up, and it's particularly windy there. But once they do pick it up, they are immediately greeted by Dr. Eggman, who decides to follow them and proceeds to battle them after taking the 2 Chaos Emeralds from them. Sonic is able to easily defeat Dr. Eggman and send his little mini ship crashing into the ground and sending him flying. But not before the 2 Chaos Emeralds bounce into the water nearby, and to Sonic and Tails' horror, it turns out that Chaos was actually hiding in the pond and evolves from its Chaos 2 form into its Chaos 4 form. And sure enough, Sonic and Chaos battle a little bit briefly. Sonic having to hop from lily pad to lily pad like he does in the games to try and defeat Chaos. Eventually he's able to land a critical blow by attacking Chaos's brain. At which point Dr. Eggman retrieves Chaos into his ship and retreats to the egg carrier, which happens to be flying overhead, and as he thanks Sonic and Tails for the Chaos Emeralds. And Tails is not only bummed out about it because of the fact that he kind of just accidentally led Dr. Eggman straight to the Chaos Emerald, and now he has 4 of them. But Sonic reassures him that they'll get them back, and they proceed to chase after him in the next tornado. This chase ultimately leaves them Olderverse Station Square, where Amy happens to be going for a walk. And Amy sees the fight from the street, and we see, as the audience, actually see the closer details of it. So during the fight, Sonic and Tails are actually able to do some damage to the egg carrier, and the egg carrier in turn takes out one of their wings, which causes the X-Tornado to crash, and they eventually wind up back in the house. But it's explaining later why that is. But for right now, during the battle though, a small bird lands on Amy's head, and it has a little pendant around its neck. And she's not entirely sure what the bird is or how it got there, but she decides to take care of it, and then also escorts Tails and Sonic back to the house so they can recover. At which point Tails, I'm not entirely sure if it's a flashback or a dream, but he imagines fighting a bunch of robots with Sonic in their plane. So, yeah, he has a very high. He has a very high opinion of Sonic, and that's been established. But this little flashback establishes that it's more than that. Like, Tails just wants to be helpful to Sonic in some way, and that he actually feels a bit stronger when Sonic is around. So, yeah, it establishes that. But then Tails wakes up after his dream, at which point Chuck greets him and tells him that he's glad that he shouldn't move around so much because he needs to recover. At which point Tails asks if Sonic is okay as well, and Chris remarks that Chuck remarks that Sonic is fine and that he's just recovering. And sure enough, Sonic is up and he's watching the news, and it's not ending well because now their fight has all over the news, and now people are in a state of panic. So, sure enough, Tails asks how they got there, and then at which point Chuck reveals that Amy actually dropped him off, and they went out to go shopping for some food. But with the state of things, Chuck realizes that they probably need somebody to look after them, at which point Sonic goes out in Station Square to go look for them. And as it turned out, Chuck's hunch happened to be right, because as they're going shopping, the bird, they also named the bird Lily, by the way, but as they're shopping, they're attacked by a robot called E100 Alpha, better known as Zero. Everybody knows who Zero is. He's from Sonic Adventure. He was only in Sonic Adventure, but he does make cameos from time to time. But in any case, Zero attacks Amy, Cream and Cheese, and kidnaps Amy and Lily and takes them back to Eggman's ship. And Sonic can do nothing but watch in horror because he arrives too late to actually save Amy as she's being picked up and taken away. So yeah, this episode does a really good job of setting up Amy's plotline, because hers just kind of happens in the game. They don't really explain it well enough as to why she's suddenly involved and why Zero suddenly decides to go after her. They don't really explain it all that well, but here it's explained a lot better. So Zero is going after Amy because she has a thing that it wants, and so it kidnaps her. And Sonic spends a good portion of the time trying to save Amy from Zero, but it doesn't work. But yeah, this episode overall just does a good job of setting up the plot development for Amy's story, which is that she gets kidnapped a lot by Zero and has to constantly outrun it. That's the recurring thing that happens during her chapter. I kid you not, that is a thing that happens in the game. But and I do appreciate that the team behind Sonic X were able to actually make a better version of that. I'm glad that they were able to actually figure that out and do something with that. But yeah, Amy's story is just not my personal favorite. It's not a lot of people's personal favorites because it's just a lot of running from Zero. But they managed to make it work. So that's my review of Sonic X. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks that I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!